Hi Roadrunners, this is Michelle Casa, Senior Financial Aid Advisor at Rio Hondo College. So you've applied for financial aid. I'm going to be going over the next steps within your financial aid. We want to make sure you have a successful semester here at Rio Hondo College. So let's get started. Applying for financial aid. So whether you're new, you're continuing, or you're transferring from another school, we encourage all students to apply for financial aid. There is the FAFSA application. It is for U.S. citizens or eligible non-citizens or U.S. permanent resident. There's also the California DREAM Act application, which it is for undocumented students that may qualify for AB 540 status. You should be completing the California DREAM Act application. We don't encourage students to complete both applications. It can cause a delay within your financial aid. So if you have any questions or you haven't completed your application, please contact our office and we'll be able to guide you in what application to complete or answer any questions you do have in filling out the financial aid application. Financial aid at Rio Hondo College. So we get this question asked a lot, whether there's different applications for different types of grants, waivers. So the answer is no. When you're completing either your FAFSA application or California DREAM Act application, you are applying for all sources of financial aid. So there are different applications. Here on this slide, we have all the financial aid that is available at Rio Hondo College. Checking your application status. So when you complete your financial aid application, you're not done yet. You do have to check your status. So when you are about to check your application to see if you are required to turn in documentation, just have your first, last name, your date of birth. Make sure you have your social security. It will ask for that. DREAM Act students, instead of your social security, you will be using your DREAM ID number, which it is located on your application when you received a confirmation. The verification process. So students are selected for verification, and when you create your account, you will be required to create this account, but then verifying if you do have to turn in documentation. So the easiest way I like to explain to students is going on to the Rio Hondo homepage, clicking check my application status. It will prompt you to this. If you do get an error message when trying to create your account, there could be some issues with your financial aid. So please contact our office. We'll be able to see if your application isn't in the system. There could be multiple reasons why your application didn't come in automatically, but we want to try to get that resolved as soon as possible for you. 30% of the population gets selected for verification. Unfortunately, we do not have control over this. These are the Department of Education's guidelines. So if it is requesting for you to provide documentation, it will be listed on your portal and listing all the documentation that you do have to turn into our office. Keep in mind the verification process can take about 8 to 10 weeks. It could be sooner, it's just depending on the advisor's workload. You do have an option to e-sign. When you are e-signing, I think this is the fastest way. You just do everything electronically. It'll have you create a PIN, and then it's just, instead of you printing out the documentation and uploading it, it's an easy 1, 2, 3 steps, and then just creating that PIN, and you get everything turned in a lot faster. You do have the option to opt out. But keep in mind, if you do opt out, you are going to be responsible to print out the documentation and upload it to your portal. So you do have to hit confirm, and then also making sure that once everything is uploaded properly, that you do hit submit. Sometimes students are checking their status, and unfortunately they don't hit submit, and it never goes into the queue where the advisors can start reviewing documentation. It will look like this. It gives you the upload button right here where you could upload the documentation that is being requested. The verification, if you are selected for verification and it's having you verify your household size, just read everything carefully. Don't forget your siblings if they are in the household. And if you have any questions when filling out this verification worksheet, please contact our office so it doesn't delay your financial aid as well. Non-filers. So we understand some parents or students aren't obligated to file taxes. However, we do need to see how that household is being supported. So if you are selected for verification and you did not file taxes, if you are a non-filer, we will be sending this to students. Either the advisor that is reviewing your file at that time will send this to your portal, or it will be requested on your documentation that it is required. So making sure that you read everything carefully and you report the proper documentation if it is being requested. IRS tax transcripts. So if it is being required for you to request either yourself or your parents' IRS tax transcripts, I know there has been a delay due to COVID-19. So if you are able to request the tax transcripts by mail or get them online, it's going to be the 2018 tax return transcripts. So don't get confused. Some students and parents turn in the account transcripts. They do have to be tax return transcripts for the year that we're reviewing. So the year is going to be 2018. If you are unable to get a copy of the IRS tax transcripts, you can turn in the tax, your 1040s. So it's that big tax packet that either yourself or your parents filed taxes with their tax preparer. We would need all pages to be scanned and also signed. So making sure that when you are scanning this documentation, it is being scanned correctly. So once you will get a financial aid award notification, you completed your financial aid, either your FAFSA or your California DREAM Act application, you turn in all required documentation. That is if you are selected for verification. Some students are not, but if you are selected, you would get it after everything gets finalized on your account. You will get that notified on your Access Rio email, your Rio Hondo email, and then all the awards, what you have been awarded will be on your actual Access Rio portal. So we'll go over that in a later slide. Bank Mobile. So this is a third-party bank that will disperse students' funds. So FAFSA students will receive a mailed welcome packet. It is a green envelope. It will be sent to the students enrolling for students only enrolling in courses for the first time. The FAFSA students must select a refund preference. It gets either deposited to your own personal bank account, or you could bank through Bank Mobile. We encourage you to set up your own personal bank account just because there could be fees. So we do encourage you to set that up. DreamX students, you will not be getting a green envelope in the mail. Your financial aid will be sent to you as a check to the address that we have on file. So verifying if you just recently moved or you want to just verify your address, you could do that with admissions and records. So students, if you do not receive the green envelope, if you're a new student, you don't receive it like after the semester starts, contact our office. We can generate you a code which will expire within 24 hours, but we want to make sure that all students set up Bank Mobile so it doesn't cause any delays within your financial aid. If you do not select the refund preference, then when we disperse your financial aid, that money is just going to be sitting there and it could get timed out. And again, it could just cause other delays with your financial aid for you actually receiving your financial aid. There is a customer identification program through Bank Mobile. So when you are setting that up, it can require students to provide documentation and for verification process. So it will have different types of forms that students could submit. Unfortunately, we do not have any control of the documentation that Bank Mobile will be able to accept. On the frequently asked questions through Bank Mobile, you will be able to see what it's acceptable and what is not acceptable. This can delay you actually receiving your funding. So if you are being requested to verify your identification, please make sure you turn in all the required documentation. It can take about 2 to 3 days, I've seen, for Bank Mobile to verify your identity, and then they'll be able to release that funding to you. Disbursements. All our disbursement dates are posted online. All our upcoming fall disbursements will be posted within the next couple weeks. Before receiving a disbursement, you must have completed all the following. So you must ensure that all the paperwork is completed and turned in on time. You must enroll and take part in classes, and then you must maintain satisfactory academic progress, which we'll also be going over in another slide. Just keep in mind the California Promise Grant, that is the fee waiver, that is not dispersed directly to you. That is covering your tuition. So don't expect that as a refund. That will just cover your classes. Checking your financial aid award. So this is what can be done on your Access Rio portal. You will check finances, and then making sure that you are checking the correct award year. So if your first semester is fall of 2020, the academic year is going to be 2021. So just keep in mind, if you did a FAFSA or a California Dream Act application for that academic year, that will be covering your fall of 2020, your spring of 2021, and then your summer of 2021. As you can see, you can see everything that has been awarded. The one thing we encourage students not to do is do not compare your financial aid with other classmates or friends. Every student's financial aid is different. And then also we do get this question asked a lot. Students get nervous when seeing their cost of attendance. Just keep in mind, this is just a student budget. It's just an estimate of what the cost is typically for a student to attend college for one academic year. Satisfactory academic progress. So it's extremely important that all students are maintaining satisfactory academic progress to remain eligible for financial aid. So they must maintain a cumulative GPA of a 2.0, complete at least 67% of attempted units, and do not exceed 90 units here at Rio Hondo College. So for example, if your first semester you are considered new, after that semester ends, if your GPA does fall below a 2.0, then the following semester you would be placed under financial aid probation. So if you have 2 consecutive semesters where your GPA or your completion falls below 67%, then you will be suspended from financial aid. You can appeal. You would have to provide the documentation if there is something out of your control, any type of extenuating circumstance that had the reason you weren't successful for those 2 previous semesters. You are eligible to do that appeal. It goes to a committee, and that SAP appeal can take about 3 to 4 weeks. Also, once a student hits 60 attempted units here at Rio Hondo College, they become on monitoring. They're still eligible for financial aid. However, we do understand that they're high unit majors. Students change their majors, but as soon as they hit that 90 units, they do get suspended from financial aid. Again, they would need to submit a financial aid SAP appeal so we could determine their eligibility for the next semesters that they have here at Rio Hondo College. Contacting us. So you can send us an email. We are available through email. We will respond to you within 24 to 48 hours, making sure that your email is very detailed. You include your first, your last name, and also your student ID. Leaving us a voicemail. We do return the calls within 24 hours. Again, making sure that voicemail is very detailed. We could understand you, and then also including your student ID. So we could look up your account before we give you a call, and we could just do a quick file review. And we have any concerns, we would be able to address that on the phone. And then also, if you want to meet with a financial aid advisor in person or through Zoom, you can do that. Our Zoom meeting ID is on here, and then also our password. If you want to chat with a financial aid advisor, you can go onto the Rio Hondo homepage and then chat with an advisor. Again, provide your student ID so we could assist you a lot faster. And then staying connected. If you want to keep updated with if we have any types of workshops or any type of presentations, we will be updating our Instagram very frequently for the fall semester. So we'll have new updates and any information that students can use, especially dealing with financial aid. Thank you.